And we're back. Today it is Cadillac, and we have Miss Jack again as our body in front of us. We've already got our tactile cues and our no necessary modifications. So we're going to start today with our one spring from above. Speaking though, as I set this up, talking about the difference between the Cadillac and the springboard. So here's a great situation where this is a perfect move and helpful. We have this open end on both the closed and open end of the Cadillac. We can have a larger range of motion, and it just allows us a little bit more advancement as we move into our practice. So today we're going to start with our teaser, push through bar from above with one red spring. So I'm going to ask Miss Jack to go ahead and come on down and lie prone. She's going to set up so that as we bring the push down bar through to her, I'm going to make sure that she has the bar just over her rib cage or torso here, and that's where we're finding that we can align her shoulders with her elbows and with her wrists, and we want to make sure that she has proper alignment here. And then as we push the bar through, making sure to keep her head safe. So the bar is going to start roughly above her forehead, maybe scoot back just a touch here. Perfect. All right. And then making sure that our ribs are knitted in. We want them to almost decompress down into the mat, legs beginning at the feet on the mat here, hip distance apart. So for our teaser, we will start with bringing one leg to tabletop at a time. Go ahead and dorsiflex those feet back towards you to allow that posterior chain energy. And then as she inhales to prepare, I want her to make sure that she's still knitted down into that mat. With your exhale, start to press the bar away from you, and then articulate the spine, rising up that head, neck, and chest, extending those arms straight as we find her weight on the sits bone. So making sure that her tabletop is a little bit extended out as her counterbalance. She has a beautiful plumb line here, cervical neck in line as well. Now with your inhale, go ahead and start to lower the spine, articulating one vertebrae at a time. So lumbar first, then mid-back, bringing that bar all the way through back to start. Beautiful. We can leave the legs at tabletop. Let's go again. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, start to press the bar through. We're tucking the chin to chest. Pressing on up into our teaser position, making sure that leg is at counter position. Beautiful. And then go ahead and bend the elbows, tuck the chin, start to articulate your way back down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time, pulling that bar back through to the starting position. Do you want to switch the breath work on this one?
If you'd like.
Okay, so let's inhale as we pull the bar through. Exhale as we start to tuck the chin to chest, lifting up, using our obliques, using our spine muscles here. We're having our hips put together here with all of our hamstrings and glutes, keeping that counterbalance. Now slowly staying on your ischial tuberosities, let's bend those elbows back towards your chest, tuck the chin again, allow that articulation of the spine as we bring it back down to start. Beautiful. One leg can come back down to the mat here, and we are done with teaser. Let me go ahead and make sure that bar comes back up safely. Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and dismount super quick here. Just coming off of the carriage. We'll move right through to push through bar, one spring from above, but I do want to change the spring here to one blue because we're going to have a different kind of extension here, moving into swan. So using the teaser with the red, that allows her to have more of an assistant spring from above to help her to rise up into that teaser. Whereas here, we're going to go ahead and have you lie prone here on the mat. Carefully bring yourself up one knee at a time. In your starting position, we're going to have your arms extended out in front of you. So I'm going to need you to scoot on back because you're tall. There you go. And our arms are going to be extended out in front of us fully. Now let's scoot back in. Just wanted to make sure we didn't hit your head there. Arms extended to start here. Let me move my hand out of the way. There you go. Making sure our hands are shoulder distance apart. We have a nice plumb line working here. We're going to leave our legs hip distance apart. Go ahead and laterally rotate, plantar flexion. Beautiful. So on your inhale, I want you to start to lower that bar here as you rise up the head, neck, and chest to find extension, keeping that cervical line and spine, slight extension here in the back, using those abdominals to press on up, pelvis stays nice and strong, and then with your exhale, go ahead and slowly start to find your neutral position. Again, I'm having my hand here close to the bar just in case we have any problems. And again, with your inhale, go ahead and slowly rise up using that extension there, finding that cervical line and spine, beautiful. And then with your exhale, slowly lowering back down, articulating through the spine again, keeping active energy through the legs, squeezing the glutes. So our abdominals are allowing us to go ahead and rise up that head, neck, and chest using our obliques, using our transverse abdominis, rectus abdominis, and go ahead and lower it on down. Also keeping that shoulder stability and scapular isolation, indeed. Wonderful. I'll take the bar here. Let's go ahead and have you dismount. Wonderful. And then we're going to go ahead and bring this back up, push through bar, one spring from below. So we're going to go to one red spring here, always making sure that the client is not on the carriage when we are moving into any changing of the springs, etc. So with the run from below, we want to make sure that the padding is here to protect the Cadillac, and then we'll go ahead and click this on. I need to add my safety strap so that we don't have any injuries in the process. So we'll go ahead and over the front. There we go. Go ahead and bring this up and over, and let me disconnect this first. There we go. And let's go to a medium here in the middle, should be good, to allow Jack to come up and under and still be able to get the work that we want. Okay, so one red spring here, making sure that this is safe and secure, and then I will help her to go ahead and come through here. We're gonna go into scapular isolation, so if you wanna go ahead and come on down. And again, we're gonna make sure that as we lower the bar towards her, she has her arms shoulder distance apart. She's gonna shimmy on down so that her shoulders here are in line with her wrists. Thank you. Okay, feet are planted onto the mat. We have a nice stable pelvis. We're working a neutral spine. So I just want you to slowly find neutral in your shoulders. Okay, now go ahead and slowly press the bar away from you, finding protraction. Now slowly lower back down, find retraction, all the way back and down. So the scapula moving back and down. Go ahead, protract out of those shoulder blades, finding our scapular movement here. We want to make sure that she's keeping enough space between her chin and chest as she works. She's staying in a neutral spine throughout. There's no activity in that lower part of the body. One more, protract in those shoulder blades, scapular nice and down, or out, excuse me, and then back down. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and have you move here from under the bar. Wonderful. And we do have the strap just in case. Okay. Next we will go into our fuzzy hanging straps. All right, so we'll make sure that is off. Then I'll take our clip off here. Excuse me. And thank you. That's helpful. Okay. So, Jack, I'm going to have you go ahead and allow me first to come on up. We're okay with tactile cues and assistance. Yep. We'll need it for this. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to have you, if you're going to hang from, you need to hang from the other end. Excuse me. So we need the open end. Thank you. But we're not going to have you hang more than this. We'll just have. Beautiful. Lie supine. Thank you. And first and foremost, I need you to bridge up onto my quads. So place one foot on my quads here at a time. I have a nice little bend in the knees. Go ahead and bridge on up. Wonderful. And I'm going to take your foot. We're going to twist our fuzzies here so that they're the tension that she needs. Excuse me. And then we'll laterally rotate, dorsiflex, so that we have your foot in the fuzzy. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and bring our second foot up and in, dorsiflexed, laterally rotated. Now, is your spine feeling neutral? Your pelvis is feeling neutral? We feel even? Wonderful. We'll go ahead and have her just hang here. I'm going to hang out with her. She's allowing that pelvis to get our nice stretch here in the posterior chain. Her upper body is allowing her to have just a really lovely stretch. Okay, and then we would have her dismount. So we would pick which foot we're moving with first. This one, wonderful. So you hang out here, and I'll go ahead and grab the fuzzy. Her foot comes back to my quad. I'm staying in my squat again. We'll remove our second foot, and then she'll slowly articulate back down, and we'll place one foot back on the mat at a time. Beautiful. And there's our fuzzy half hang. I'm going to go ahead and dismount here. And then we're moving into our inverse trapeze bar setup. So let me grab that. So for the trapeze bar, again, we want to make sure that we have everything set up the way that we need it to be. Needs to be roughly 2/3 of the way to one side, because she will be grabbing and having a plank here. So, do we have enough space for you plank here? Yeah. I think we might want to move it further. Let's just move it a touch. I want to make sure Jack's not going to hit that other end. Okay, wonderful. So, we have our trapeze bar set up. We will make sure that as Jack comes into this move, we have grips up here on the pole we would have. So first she'll go ahead and place her foot one at a time into the trapeze here at the upper part. She will laterally rotate her foot again, dorsiflexing, making sure she has a great contact point. Keeping her hands shoulder distance here will make sure that she has a good grip, and then she'll place her other foot into the trapeze. Again, laterally rotating, dorsiflex, so that she has her good positioning and safety. And we've got kind of a natural V here in the natural pelvis and natural spine. Articulating the spine up into plank, she'll find the inverted plank, and then go ahead and flex the elbows and find her pull up. Come on down. Again, inhale to prepare. Exhale, rising on up, slowly lowering down with the inhale. One more time. Exhale, rise on up, and great job, lower it on down. And then I would keep a hand here, just a spot, to make sure that if she is having any instability, I'm here to help her. You can also place a long box down here, or 2 long boxes standing, in order to help your client. All right, we'll go ahead and lower that on down. So we're keeping that plank there, which is awesome for the core to keep nice and long, that plumb line. Obviously using our biceps, triceps, our traps, our lats in order to make that pull up. Wonderful job. We are on to chair. Okay, on to chair. One of my favorite things that we do here at Club Pilates. So first, we are doing a standing leg work. So we'll go ahead and move our box into positioning. I have one spring at 3. And we will have our long box, because it is long box standing press. Even though it is up against short, it's still staying long, it's usually sideways. We have our maple bar. Awesome. One spring at 3. Jack, go ahead and come on up. We'll have you face towards our video. So if you are feeling secure with no vertigo or anything like that today, we're going to have you stand up on the box. Your foot is close to the edge here, next to the pedal as possible, and in the center of that distance of the box. Then our other foot will come onto the pedal. Our feet will stay in parallel. Wonderful. And we'll have a slight micro bend in this knee in order for you to have stability. Wonderful. So, with a nice neutral spine, using all of your spinous erector muscles and your obliques, your abs, all of the above to keep you nice and straight in a neutral spine, we're going to extend the bended leg towards the floor, then bend it back up towards you. Extending that pedal leg back down towards the floor and back up towards you. So working the quads, the hamstrings, the hip flexors. Wonderful. Okay. Keeping those feet in parallel, and come on up. Next, we are going to go into, I believe it is the tricep press is next. Upper body work. Strong girl here with Jack, so we'll go ahead and keep it 1 at 3. We could lower it down to 1 at 1 for our beginners. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go 1-on-1 for Miss Jack. Okay, so she will come to be seated here with her legs over the edge of the box here, up front, as close to the back as possible. She has longer legs and a longer torso, so we might have to adjust. Feet are on the ground, hip distance apart, planted, wonderful. So we can place our hands in two different ways. You can either go with your fingers facing towards you or away from you, but we want to make sure that our elbows are stacked within line of our shoulders and our wrists are stacked in line of our elbows, so we're at shoulder distance apart. Wonderful. So go ahead and bring that pedal up halfway, flexing the elbows, and just making sure that she's not pinching the elbows towards herself or away, and go ahead and depress the pedal down, and go ahead and let the pedal slowly come back up. Exhale, pressing the pedal down, so she's using all of her core in order to keep a nice neutral spine here. She has a neutral pelvis. She's pressing down using those triceps. Scapular isolation and stability here, absolutely keeping those scapula back and down and an open chest as she moves, keeping an eye on the collarbone. And nice neutral spine, wonderful. Go ahead and let that pedal up. Great job. Next, we are moving on to upper body work. Hamstring curl. So we will remove the box here. So this is our supine work at the chair, hamstring curl. All right, so Jack can definitely go back to like a 1 at 3 on this. Wonderful. All right, you want to use that for your lower back? Nope? Okay, so go ahead and lie supine. And we will have our Achilles tendons just sort of kissing the edge of the pedal here of the chair. So it'll feel like a tabletop, but just a little bit longer extension in the knees. We want to make sure the hips are staying neutral. We have a neutral spine, a little bit of active energy, scapular back and down. Great. Hip distance apart on the feet. Let's dorsiflex those toes back towards you. And on your inhale, go ahead and slowly lower the pedal down halfway, and exhale, resist that spring as you rise back up. Again, using your hamstrings, slowly lower the pedal down. Your calves are also getting some good work here. Slowly letting the pedal back up, making sure the knees are not knocking. We're staying hip distance apart, keeping that nice neutral spine. Pelvis is nice and heavy. We're not wiggling up top. Again, hamstring curl, and awesome. Thank you, Ms. Jack. Go ahead and remove your feet one at a time. Feet come planted to the floor, and you can go ahead and sit on up. Thank you. Next, we're going to torso flexion cat standing, one of my favorites. So however is comfortable for you, we will come up off the floor. We will stand roughly 3 inches away from the base of that chair. That seems to be a good positioning for you. Hip distance apart in the feet again. They are parallel. Slight bend, micro bend in the knees, just slight, so we're not hyperextending. And we're going to have our arms down by the sides. So our hands are not the focus of this. It's all about articulating or finding that C curve. So with your inhale, I want you to grow nice and tall, keeping a neutral spine. Exhale, tuck the chin, start to C-curve the spine down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Hands are moving slightly in front of you as you find the pedal. Hands are in parallel. Slowly press the pedal down, halfway, hold here. Inhale to slowly come up. Exhale to press it back down again. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to slowly rise the pedal up slightly, and exhale, press it back down. And then we'll inhale to rise the pedal all the way back up, finding that articulation, keeping that chin tucked to the chest, arms coming down, shoulders back and down to finish. Wonderful. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to prepare, grow nice and tall. Exhale, tuck the chin to chest. Start to move with the crown of the head. We're finding our C-curve. Hands are just along for the ride to find that pedal. Hands are shoulder distance apart and parallel. Pressing the pedal down as we find that constriction in the core. Slowly pressing the pedal up and down. This is all transverse abdominis, little rectus abdominis. Obliques are helping to keep her in a standing position, as well as her lower body, the glutes, hamstrings, and quads as well, keeping her pelvis stable. And on this last one, go ahead and bring the pedal all the way back up. Wonderful job. Last but not least, we'll add one more difference. This time, inhale to prepare, tuck the chin to chest, go ahead and C-curve, find your way down. Pedal all the way as far as comfortable, not to the floor, but finding that press Now bend the elbows, flexing in the elbows, and press it back down, arm press. Inhale as you bend the elbows, press it down, and go ahead and inhale one more time as you stack it all the way up. There you go. Just showing a little bit of difference in that cat standing. Okay, we'll go under prone swan next. So we'll keep you 1 at 3. Let's move to the outside or aisle. Here for our swan, we'll need you to lie in prone. So we want to make sure that her pelvis is in the center of the chair padding. It's wonderful to keep that comfortable for her. So as she comes on, we want her to think of her ASIS as sort of an inch or two away from the edge, and her sits bones on the other side of that. Wonderful. So her pelvis wants to stay in the center. We need a neutral spine to start. She's neutral in her shoulders, which we know she can find after doing Cadillac. Legs are hip distance apart. Plantar flexion. Wonderful. So with our inhale, I want you just to find a slight extension and then press it back down. Exhale. With your inhale, find a slight extension. Rise that pedal up. Beautiful. Exhale, press it all the way back down. Let's go again. This time, find that extension fully. Inhale, rising up the head, neck, and chest. Finding that extension in the back, keeping that torso engaged. Pulling that belly button up. Beautiful. And then slowly find that extension. Cervical spine in line. Pressing it all the way back down. Never bending in those elbows, keeping everything nice and extended. Wonderful. We can stay right here and go right into prone rotation, our last of the chair exercises. So as she finds prone, we want to make sure that she is strong enough to hold the pedal with one hand, which we do know that is secure. So for rotation, she will start with the pedal slightly rose so that she can find that neutral spine, finding that sort of neutral shoulder. We'll bring one hand to the forehead with our outside of our hand. Wonderful. Now, with your inhale, think of lifting the torso and rotating by starting with almost the elbow. The elbow is leading the game away into the side, making sure that the hips are staying grounded. Wonderful. Now exhale, lower it back down. Let's switch hands. Left hand comes back down, right hand comes up, finds the forehead. With your inhale, rise that pedal up, find that rotation, starting with the elbow, making sure to keep both of our hips down, and slowly exhale, find that hand back down. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and put the hand back on the pedal, have both hands on the pedal, readjust here. Let's add to this. Left hand comes to forehead. Inhale, slightly let the pedal rise, finding extension in your back. Go ahead and salute. Bring the hand in your inhale, back to forehead. Exhale, rotate back down to pedal. Come on down to your neutral, hand comes back on the pedal. Let's switch hands. Right hand comes to forehead. Inhale, slightly rise up, use that core. Rotate, find your extension in the elbow, salute. Beautiful, bring it back to your forehead. Rotate now. Now place the hand back down. Go ahead and slowly let that pedal come up as you swivel down, feet find the floor, hands find the chair, and come on up. So full back body extension on that last finding in the chair. Thank you so much.